Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is I, Jolting Joe, coming to you here on Monday, June the 19th. Happy Juneteenth to everybody out there. Of course, originally from Galveston, where Juneteenth started. Long story short, back in 1865, on June the 19th, Civil War comes to an end. Union General Gordon Granger arrives in Galveston, tells the slaves in Galveston, in Texas, that they are now free by executive order, i.e., Emancipation Proclamation. That was the first time they learned about their freedom, and that's where it started. And so happy, and of course now it's a national holiday, so happy Juneteenth to everybody. What are you drinking and what are you smoking? Now, I've got a Manny Lopez, once again from Texas City. This one's kind of a fun one. All right, it's got a Connecticut wrapper, but it's also got a little bit of a Candela right there. And then on the top there is also a Maduro, and you get some more darker, so yeah, basically a triple wrapper, just real kind of thin there, kind of interesting. And I got another one, which I might smoke later today, that's just the opposite. So it's got still got the Candela in the middle there, but you've got the Connecticut at the bottom, the Connecticut in the middle, and then the Connecticut at the top there. So kind of an interesting thing. But then you get the dark, majority dark. This one's majority light. So there you go. All right, and so but that's what we got today. Far as what are you drinking goes, you're here in Texas. We got a grocery store which everybody knows and loves, HEB. Was at HEB, and I finally found Troy Aikman's beer, which is simply called 8, which I'm going to pull out here, and I make sure my other beer is going to stay cold here, and make sure I got it covered up with the ice packs, because once again it's damn near 100 degrees right now. It's about 98. We got a heat wave like a son of a bitch. Tell you what, man, this is like freaking August weather in June. It's crazy. It's stupid. All right. Here we go. But yeah, this is actually Troy Aikman's beer. It's called 8. You can see there. All right. It's kind of hard to see, but there you go. 8. It's called the Elite Light Lager. All right. And so there you go. Only 90 calories, only 2.6 grams of carbs. I have not had this yet. So let's see. So 8 Brewing. Yeah, there you go. It's only 4% light beer. All right. So let's put in the old koozie here, crack it open, and I'll tell you what I think of it. Here we go. Oh, it's always a good sound. All right, here we go. Not bad. It's not horrible. It's got kind of an amber, a little darker than amber color to it. Kind of like maybe like a Sam Adams kind of color to it. I know y'all can't see, but I'm not gonna pour it in a glass. It's just too fucking hot for that shit. It's kind of like a craft beer on training wheels. It's kind of like I know some of you may have had like a Montucky, which is a light craft beer or something to that effect. It's kind of what it tastes like. It's just got it is a little bit darker, so it's a little bit more maltier, and as far as it goes. But yeah, and that's not a horrible beer. It's not too bad. It's kind of like a little bit like a Yingling, maybe somewhere kind of in that neighborhood. Yeah, it's interesting. It's definitely light, definitely refreshing. Only 4%, not going to get you hammered. But a good beer on a day like today, where it's damn near 100 degrees and the heat index is like 107, 108. So there you go. All right. I am Space City'd out today because it is Space City Monday for the Astros, even though they absolutely suck right now. It got swept by Cincinnati. Lost the game yesterday they should not have. We'll get into baseball later, but let's start today's show with the U.S. Open. Now, that was kind of the big event of the weekend. And just to kind of let you know let me see if I can find the headlines for it. Because so they were playing out. Um, so a couple of things here with this with the U.S. Open. First of all, let me see if I can go to news here because it might just be as all the payouts. Yeah, I'll have to see. But anyway, yeah, I'll get to it later. But so anyway, the U.S. Open, which is the third major of the year, it used to be the second, now it's the third since they moved the PGA back. Anyway, so U.S. Open. And it was played at the LA Country Club, the Los Angeles Country Club, on the outskirts of Beverly Hills there in LA. A couple of things. First of all, there were small crowds over the weekend. Now, one is that the course, the country club itself, the North Course, the footprint is not very big. It can't handle a lot of people. So the PGA only released 22,000 tickets per day, so only 22,000 people could come. They did say that they could have upped it to 25,000, but they kind of lowballed it a little bit. Now the problem was with that though, is a lot of those 22,000, only 8,000 went on sale to the general public. The rest of it was corporate tickets and stuff like that. Okay, so more than half of the tickets were for corporate tickets. Now you got to remember. Now that played a part in it too. Um, but then you also have to remember that this is Los Angeles. All right. LA traffic sucks, especially on a Thursday or on a Friday. Dodger fans are notorious for showing up at late and not showing up until the second or third inning because one thing is it just takes you forever to fucking get there because traffic's so fucking horrible. And so there's kind of that aspect to it. There were other things. There's traffic. There was a lot of corporate tickets and things of that nature, and then it's just fucking LA. All right, and I like LA. I've been in LA 3 times. All right, I would not want to live in LA. I just put it to you that way. But the thing about LA is it's a transplant town, and because it's a transplant town, it's not really that great of a sports town. I mean, look how long LA was without a football team. Nobody really cared. All right, and of course, when the Chargers came to town and they were playing in the soccer stadium, which only held 30,000 people, like it was still like 20,000 of the opponent and things of that nature. SoFi Stadium's beautiful there in Inglewood. They're getting form done, and I mean, but basically that's a two-team city. It's the Dodgers, it's the Lakers. That's it. Like I mean, the Rams I think are doing okay because the Rams had been in LA, went to St. Louis, came back to LA. The Chargers actually did start in LA as well, then went to San Diego, came back. But I really don't think LA really wanted the Chargers, needed the Chargers. So for LA to have 2 football teams is kind of stupid. But I think the Raiders made the right move and just went to Vegas. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate the Chargers didn't stay in San Diego. I think that was San Diego, good town. It got at least has Major League Baseball. But anywho, I digress. All right, we're getting off on a little tangent there. But anyway, the crowds were disappointing. Let me just go to Yahoo Sports here. Kind of give you a little bit about that. And it says, while the gallery has filled up for the biggest groups for part of the US Open, many of the areas, of course, have both been looked and felt quite empty. All right, and it says just about everyone outside the biggest groups have struggled to draw a normal following from the gallery. Even the marquee pairings have had quite quiet stretches on the golf course, like on the 13th hole near the old Playboy Mansion, where very few fans appear to be making the trek. Of course, some of the players, like Matt Fitzpatrick hit a hole in one, and he didn't even know he hit a hole in one because the crowd wasn't loud. It was real quiet. And then let's see if there's anything else about that. It says the only notable golfer who truly praised the crowds was Scotty Scheffler. And let's see. But the USGA was behind ticket sales for the first time ever at the U.S. Open. And then, of course, trying to find the right, they did 22,000. It says we could have sold 40,000 tickets a day, but we sold 22,000 to make sure the experience still here is a quality experience for those that get the golf experience. It says that doesn't mean 22,000 tickets for the general public, though. As I mentioned to you, only about 9,000 per day were slotted for general admission, which led to skyrocketing ticket prices in the resale market. So that was probably another reason there wasn't a whole lot of people there either. Tickets were going for more than $300 to simply get onto the course. And then let's see. And the course is very tight. There are a number of greens and tee boxes that are almost on top of each other. For example, the number 1 and number 10 tees are right next to the clubhouse, situated around the number 9 and number 18 greens. The 9th green is just steps away from the 10th tee box. Getting fans to that area is nearly impossible with the way it's situated. The clubhouse area is blocked off for members and VIP guests, and a massive, often empty hospitality tent lines the right side of the first fairway. Let's see, and yeah, given that number 1, 9, and 18 all came together, kind of made it very difficult to accommodate a large grandstand. So, that was kind of kind of just what it was as far as the attendance, was concerned. All right, but here's the other thing. Now, since it started on the West Coast, I'm here on Central Time Zone. I'm used to things starting either on Central Time or Eastern Time, and so getting up and being like having the tournament done by 5 p.m. my time, 6 p.m. my time, because it's already 7 Eastern and they're playing Augusta or something like that, or playing on the East Coast. Like we're playing up in New York for the PGA, for instance. Okay, now because I started on the West Coast, which is still 2 hours behind Central, 3 hours behind Eastern, they're teeing off at, let's just say 8 o'clock West Coast time. Well, hell, that's 10 o'clock here on Central Time. And so, and that's when they were just teeing off. And so the featured groups weren't teeing off till, 2 o'clock in the afternoon or so, and so that's like 4 o'clock here. I just totally fucking forgot about it. I didn't hardly watch any of Monday Thursday or Friday because I just fucking forgot, to be completely honest with you. Watched a little bit Saturday, but Saturday was crazy because they didn't, the last tee time, the featured group, which was Rickie Fowler and Wyndham Clark, they did not tee off until I think 3:40 Pacific. It was almost 4 o'clock before they teed off. So that was 5:40 here before they even teed off. And I know it's Saturday, but there was other shit going on. You had baseball going on. You had the College World. Not that you were going to watch the College World Series and stuff, but you had all that kind of stuff going on as well. But yeah, and then it got dark on them, of course, and Wyndham missed a putt, and and Rickie missed a putt, and Wyndham was not happy about it because he was like, that was horse shit that we had to wait that long. So they did tee off earlier on Sunday. They teed off like an hour earlier. I think they teed off at like around 2, what was it here? Because it was like 4:20 here. I think they teed off around 2:20, I think. 2:20, I think, is when they teed off yesterday, and that's Pacific time. All right, so anyway. Quick recap, though. At the first 2 days, that course did not play like a U.S. Open course. So U.S. Open course, usually tight fairways. You got to make a good tee shot, all right? And that's kind of what it's about. It's about keeping the ball on the fairway. The U.S. Open's about tight fairways, thick rough. Now, there was thick rough at L.A. Fairways, though, pretty expansive. Also, big greens, huge greens there at LA Country Club. But so at first, the first 2 days it played like a goddamn desert course. Rickie Fowler shot him and Wyndham tied each other for a U.S. Open record. They both shot 65, I believe, if I remember right. It might have been lower than that. Well, they were both 8 under. It was a par 70, so they shot 62. All right, they shot a fucking 62 on the opening day, but they were 8 under. There were some scores there, and then going into the weekend, Rickie and Wyndham were tied, I think, at -10. So that's a low score for a U.S. Open. Most U.S. Opens, a lot of times a U.S. Open might win. A U.S. Open champion might win at like -3 or -4. All right, it's supposed to, it's a tough, supposed to be kind of a tough course. That's not the way the LA Country Club played, at least the first 2 days of the course. But getting back to, I mean, basically kind of wrap this up here. Getting to yesterday, it basically became a two-man race. Ricky Fowler just fell off. Like Ricky Birdie just was birdie machine the first 3 days, and then he can buy a birdie yesterday, so he kind of fell behind. Scotty Scheffler just couldn't fucking putt. I don't know that he. If Scotty Scheffler finds his putter, he's the next Tiger Woods. But he, he I mean, he looks like me putting sometimes. It's I don't know why he can't get that flat stick working, but he couldn't get the putter going. It's the biggest criticism of him is the fact that he cannot putt, and he missed a lot of putts yesterday, and very easily could have finished the tournament at 12 under and won the damn thing. But he missed a lot, and I think he ended up at -7 as far as as far as as far as that goes, uh, and um, and so it was it was kind of wide open there. Wyndham was playing really well. Rory was playing really well. Rory was only, I think, 2 shots back of the lead, or 1 shot back. It might have been 1 shot. I think it was. I think everybody was at -9, -10. Rory was at -9 or something like that when the day started. The thing about it is, though, is when Rory got in if Wyndham got into trouble, Rory kind of got into trouble too. And so they were kind of just going back and forth. And Wyndham looked like he was about to hand the U.S. Open to Rory, but ended up making some really good shots. All he needed to do was hit par on 18. He hit a good drive. He laid up, and then his third shot was a long ass putt, and all he needed to do was get it close, and he did. He got it within 6 inches of the cup, which is really all he needed to do, and dropped it in and won the U.S. Open by a stroke. Finished at -10 for the tournament. Roy, I think, finished -9. And good story with Wyndham, though, because he'd just won his first tournament a couple months earlier, and then he wins the fucking U.S. Open. Go fucking figure. He earned $3 million. Rory got $2.16 million. Scotty Scheffler got 1.4 million. Cam Smith got just under a million, 990,000. Ricky Fowler, Tim Fleetwood, Midlou, all tied for fifth. They got 738,000 for the week. And so there you go. But yeah, Wyndham finished at -10, Rory at -9, Scotty at -7, Cam Smith -6, and then Ricky Fowler, Tommy Fleetwood, Min Woo Lee all at -5. And then running out your top 10, tied for 8th or 10th, you got Tom King -4, along with Harris English. Then at -3, Austin Eckert, John Rahm, Xander Schauffele, Dustin Johnson. So that rounded out your kind of your top 10 there. All right, and Dustin Johnson made 4, and the guy that finished last in the money was Roy Isakawa, and he won $42,000, which is still 10 grand per day. I will take that any day of the week and twice on Sunday. So there you go. Also, let's see. All right, so what else we got here? So we're like almost, like that blew like fucking 20 minutes right there almost. But anywho, I kind of want to have a little bit of a tangent. But there you go. John Morant got 25-game suspension for waving a gun on Instagram again. I know there were a lot of people that were wanting him suspended for like the whole season. I'm like, that's because he didn't like kill anybody or anything. All right, but I mean, what he did was stupid because the reason it was stupid is he did it a second time. All right, because basically they told him, don't be waving a gun around on Instagram, and then what did he do? He waved a gun around on Instagram for a second time, and basically, in the NBA wants to get away from their image of violence and things like that, which I get. And especially nowadays with mass shootings and everything as well. And he didn't threaten anybody with the gun. He was just showing the gun. But, the NBA kind of, but like I said, the big thing is he screwed up twice. All right, first time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me, right? And so I think that was the big problem that the NBA had. So, and 25 games seems about right. Now the Players Association came out and said that it was too many games, but they're the union. They got to try to protect their players. I get that. But 25 seemed about right to me. I think he was going to get 20, 25 games. I think the punishment fit the crime because, like I said, he did twice. All right, he kind of goofed twice, And so that's kind of what happened with that. So John Moran got his suspension. Bill Huggins, basketball coach at West Virginia, has been around forever. He is out. He officially is retiring because number one, I didn't hear it or anything. He used a homophobic slur or homosexual slur on a radio show or a podcast. They later apologized for, but usually when you use a homophobic slur, that's usually the other F word. So I'm pretty. That's most likely what he said. I don't know for certain, but like I said, usually when it's a homophobic slur, that's the one that comes to mind. Then he got a DUI. Well, actually, it should be a DWI. Because it was DW actually, because you had DU, which is driving under the influence, which means you're under the legal limit, but you had a beer or two and you're still under the influence. So they hit you with a DUI, which is not as bad as a DWI. Okay, because DUI, maybe you had a couple beers, got in your car, got pulled over. You're not drunk, but you still had a couple. There you go. All right, and this beer is only 4%. But if I got in the car, got pulled over, and I got a breathalyzer, I get a DUI because I've had a beer. All right. And then there's a DWI, which is driving while intoxicated, which he was. Most states, the legal limit is 0.01. He was at 0.2, which was more than double the legal limit. Is where he was at. I think he was like at 0.21. I think he was like right at double because, like I said, most states it's 0.01 is the legal limit, and he was at 0.0. He was at 0.2. And like 2-1. So he's going to step down as the men's basketball coach there at West Virginia, and he's in his 60s anyway. But basically, with as far as all of that is concerned, so he decided. So they kind of made it. But as far as that goes, so there you go. Let's see what else we got in the way of news here. We'll go to ESPN and see what they got. Oh, College World Series is going on. Men's College World Series is going on right now. I think I mentioned that. Yeah, fucking Texas. Before they even got there. But anyway, let's see. Here's the headlines. Draymond Green is going to decline his option. He's going to become a free agent. Let's see here. Anything else interesting? Not really. Nah, nothing really there. Like I said, the Bob Higgins thing came out yesterday. I think I said Bill Higgins. That's Bob Higgins. Came out the other day. So that's going on there. But yeah. Let's see. Oh, was that it right there? Let's see. Yeah, Bob Huggins is resigning. Got that. And like I said, he was the head basketball coach there. And yeah, I don't think there was anything else. And like we talked about the John Moran suspension. Oh, I knew what I was going to talk about. Hold on a second. So the Denver Nuggets, because I think this happened on Tuesday night, last time I recorded the show. So the Denver Nuggets, first of all, the Golden Knights, they closed out. The Golden Knights closed out the Panthers, of course, 1 in 5 games, and Vegas had a hell of a party. And then, of course, the Denver Nuggets, they closed out the Heat in 5 games. So both Florida teams, both 8 seeds, both lost in 5 games to really the better team. But here, what was funny is Nikola Jokic, who had some great, absolutely great quotes over the. First of all, he was. He was. Crap, was it Michelle? It wasn't Michelle Defoe. Anyway, the sideline reporter for ABC, she asked Jokic. He won the MVP. He won the NBA championship, and he asked about and he was asked how it feels to win the championship, and he said, "It's good. the job is done. We can go home now. I just thought that was freaking hilarious. But he was so ready to go home. Like, and he's even said here recently that he's good at basketball, but basketball's not his first priority. It's not his only priority. I mean, obviously, I think he somewhat enjoys playing basketball, but he's just really good at basketball, and so obviously that's what he does for it. But that was his first interview, which I just thought was absolutely fantastic. Was we get to go home now, and then he's at the presser after, and somebody asked him if he was looking forward to the parade, and he looks over to the PR guy, and he's like, "When's the parade?" And the PR guy's like, "Thursday," and Joker's just like, "Thursday? I need to go home." So it was just classic, absolute classic. Just to let you know, he was at the parade. He had a really good time at the parade, but Denver gets their first NBA championship. They close out the Miami Heat, obviously, and they close the Miami Heat out in 5 games. Looked like they might push it to 6. It didn't quite work out that way. But Denver came back and ended up winning the game. And then, like I said, Vegas closed out the Panthers also in 5 games. And so, Vegas, your Stanley Cup champions. And then, of course, the Denver Nuggets, your NBA champions. But I just thought that was a great interview with Jokic. He was like, yeah, job's done. Now we go home. And but he was just like, "Let's go. I'm ready to go back. I got places to be." So I just thought that was really funny because I did watch the end of the game, and I just thought that was spectacular. The way that what he did, what he was saying, I thought it, excuse me, was absolute gold. Let's see here, and then we got a few more minutes left. Talk a little baseball. Baseball officially is the only sport going on right now. Hockey's over. Basketball's over. NFL season has not yet started, of course. There's going to be baseball until August. All right. Well, we'll get like mini camp in July, but then training camp will start at the end of July. So basically until the last end of July there. Like I said, the Astros are just in a funk right now. I mean, I know they're missing Jordan, but they still have Altuve, Pena, Tucker, Bregman. So you still got your top 4 still should be producing, should be good. Abreu's coming around a wee bit. I mean, he's still not what we signed up for. He's coming around a wee bit, so you can kind of throw him in there. That gives you 5. Mauricio Dubon's done a great job filling in. You kind of put him at 6. So that gives you your 7, 8. The bottom of your order should suck, but other than that, but this offense, my God. Also, they're now 0-6 in extra innings this season. I think they're 0-5 or 0-6. They have not won an extra inning game all fucking season, which is why I was rooting for them to walk it off yesterday when they tied the game and they had the bases loaded with 1 out into a goddamn double play, of course. But the reason I wanted them to close it out because I knew if they went to extras, they were going to fucking lose the game, and they fucking did. And so it's almost like they're in the dog days already. All right, so let's go to the NBA standings. It's June. We can look at standings now. I do. There we go. All right. So let's just look at the American League standings first. Tampa still has not really cooled off. Their winning percentage is still .680. They are 51-24. Tampa's just playing really good baseball. Now the question with Tampa, of course, 1, can they sustain this? Number 2, what are they going to do in the playoffs? They're making the playoffs, okay, unless they just have an epic collapse. But I don't foresee that happening. They've got really good pitching. What's the kid's name? Is it McClellan? The pitcher for Shane McClellan? He might damn well win the Cy Young Award. So they're really good. I mean, they're keeping on. Surprise is Baltimore. Baltimore was not supposed to be this good. They are 44-27, 5 games back at Tampa. Yankees are actually in third place. They are 10.5 games out of first. They are 39-33. Toronto's right there with them, half a game back of the Yankees. They're 39-34. Boston's in the cellar at 37-35, but still 2 games over 500. The NL Central's not good. The Twins are at 500, and they're leading that division. Cleveland's 2.5 back. They are 5 games under 500 at 33-38. Detroit's 10 under. They're 5 back. The White Sox are 5.5 back. KC is 19-52. They're 16.5 games back. And then, of course, in the West, the Rangers have cooled off a little bit, but so have the Astros. The Astros have actually lost ground on the Rangers. When the month started, they were only 2.5 games back. They are now 5.5 games back since June has started. So they've lost 3 games there. LA, the Angels have heated up a little bit. They are now in second place. They are 4.5 back in the division. Seattle's still underperforming. They are right at 500, 8.5 back. And then Oakland, of course, is 19-55. Which they still have the worst winning percentage at 257. But they actually ran off 6 in a row, I think. Fucking beat Tampa Bay. I think they swept the Braves. It was weird, man. They beat some really good teams. All right, let me pause. I got to relight. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Had to relight that one. All right. Moving to the National League here. We're going to run out of time. All right. National League, we got Atlanta leading, Milwaukee leading, Arizona leading. Tell you what, we're going to run out of time here. All right. Y'all stay. We're just going to end it there. We'll get more into baseball next week. All right. Cheers, everybody. At JJ Sports Show 63. At JJ Sports Show 63. And we'll talk National League baseball next time. All right.